recently, was it the Wall Street Journal, whatever, had that major article from Stephen Hawking, where Stephen Hawking was declaring that we don't need to be looking at creation anymore because the laws of physics, quantum mechanics, and all that sort of thing. Now we know that the universe came into being through spontaneous generation, through self-creation, right? And people take him seriously. They take him seriously. And here's a man who's an educated man, a brilliant man, making nonsense statements. Nothing ever created itself. To create itself, would have to be before it was. It would have to be and not be at the same time, same relationship. And the difficulties and the mysteries of the Heisenberg mechanics principle give now people the license to speak absurdities without being challenged. Get away with it. There was a Nobel Prize-winning physicist out at Stanford a few years ago wrote an essay in which he said, "The days of proclaiming spontaneous generation are over. Now we know in contemporary scientific ideas that the Enlightenment principle of spontaneous generation is no longer a tenable idea. Nothing can come into being spontaneously by itself. It takes time." Stop me if I'm lying. And so he says, what we have to do is change the paradigm. Listen to this. I'm not making this up. Gradual spontaneous generation. And the idea is you can't get something from nothing quickly. You have to be patient, you know, and wait for it. My goodness sakes. Now, here's how Christians respond to that. And what has happened is our congregation are filled with people who have now been taught that the categories of rationality no longer apply to the seeking of truth, and that truth can be contradictory. In fact, the more contradictory it is, the more likely it is that it's really truth. See? That is insanity. It really is insanity. But we have people thinking in those categories. And what I hear well-meaning teachers saying and preachers saying is that the way in which people learn has been dramatically impacted by television and other electronic media to such a degree that the constituent nature of man has changed. So that if you want to get to the heart, you don't need to worry about getting through the mind. Let me give you something. Since the dawn of creation, the constituent nature of human beings has not changed one iota. The way in which God created you was that the avenue to the heart is through the mind, always. That's why we seek to persuade men with a careful proclamation of the gospel. And we try to get that information into their heads. And we know it can get into the heads and never go anywhere else, and that's no good. But if you try to get into their hearts without getting into their heads, that's not faith, it's superstition. And you're not really being faithful to the Word of God. So we have to disavow ourselves of that myth that the nature of mankind has changed. I still address the mind of people. I still seek to be logical in my presentation.